great one for you this afternoon. With me is the woman, the myth, the legend herself, boxing promoter, Diane Fischer Cristiano. Welcome, D. Lee, from D. Lee's Promotions, CEO of D. Lee's Promotions.
That's it. Hi, guys. How's everybody doing? Good?
We're doing great, but it's a pleasure having you during COVID. We're chronicling boxing, and I don't think it would be right not to have you as part of our interviewees. D. Lee Promotions. I mean, you're such a legend. First woman to promote a title fight in Panama. First woman to promote a title fight in the state of Delaware. First woman to promote an all-female card in the state of Louisiana. And the first woman to be promoter of the year by the New Jersey Press, the Atlantic City Press in New Jersey. How did you win all these awards, and how did you get involved in boxing?
My father.
Your dad.
Yeah, it's we watched it on Friday night fights. We could never go to them. We could never afford it. But I just loved the sport. I should have been a matchmaker instead of promoter, because I knew like one guy would be good to fight another guy. Because I remember at the beginning, I called this guy up. I had a heavyweight, and I called him up. I said, would your guy fight my guy? Are you crazy? He'll beat him. I said, well, let's put it in the ring and see. Oh, no, we're not going to do that. I said, oh, okay, forget it. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot over the years, trust me. And one of the first things I did, too, is to put a 6 world title fight, 6 girls in Atlantic City. Don King got a road for that, but I didn't. But I put 6 world titles on.
6 world title fight. It's one thing, D. Lee, to watch boxing, but it's another thing to put all those moving parts together and have the courage and the temerity to believe you can promote a professional boxing card. Tell me how you got started.
Well, I just figured, how hard could it be? You know, it took me a long time to get my license, though, you know, because I was like one of the first women out there. But once I got it, I figured, well, how can, you know, if you just put everything together, if my matches have to be better than a man's match. I'm sorry, when I first started. There was no question about it. I had to put the right fighters on. You can ask anybody that comes, and you've been to my fights, my matches.
Yes, I have.
Even. You don't know who's going to win. Jack Overmeyer was a big sports writer. He used to say, D. Lee, one thing about your show, you don't know who's going to win. And that's what you want, you know? And it's hard. It was very, very hard. I hate when a man tells me no. Russell Peltz told me, you better get out of this business because you're never going to get TV. You know? So what are you going to do? That made me, I almost quit them, but that made me, okay, go. The first girl fight that I put on, I got sued. I got sued by a promoter out in California because I put a girls fight. He said he was the only one that was supposed to put it on. And it was funny. My father was there. They came and gave me the papers and everything. So my dad said, well, here's $200 in case you have to get a lawyer.
Well, one of the things I've been to your shows, D. Lee. One of the things I love about your shows, what you said is accurate. The fights were very competitive, but also I love the fact that women have suffered so much worldwide. You always make sure that there is gender equity. Right. That there are always women on your cards.
Right. And it's funny too, because one guy called me up, a promoter from Florida. He said, you got a 147 girl. And I said, yeah, matter of fact, I got 2. They were twins, the Webster sisters. Matter of fact, one burned a house down because they had a drug thing next door, but that's another story. But anyhow, he goes, is she cute? I said, is she cute? I said, you telling me a 147, you want to know if she's cute? Do you think Joe Frazier and all them guys would be fighting if they thought they were cute? You know, but because she was a girl, you know.
Oh, boy. So you've seen it all, and I've seen some really good fighters, Ronica Jeffries, amongst
Right,
others that have fought on your show.
right. All the girls, Kathy Collins, all of them, they come to fight. There's no, they, they're like myself. I have to prove myself on the outside of the ring. They have to prove themselves on the inside of the ring.
You know, talking to my second father, mentor and trainer, Charles Ramey, you know what he says? He's never seen a bad
Yeah.
boxing match featuring two women.
No,
They always fight.
no, they always fight. There's no question about it. I remember when I had him on the casino, I mean, in one of the casinos, and we had a press release, press conference. And I kept saying to him, you know, you got to give it a little, you know, stuff back and forth, back and forth. They were real calm as could be. But when they got in that ring, it may be 2 minutes, but it was 2 minutes of slugging. There was no question about it.
Besides men's chauvinism, what are some of the obstacles preventing more women promoters?
I don't know. I don't know if a woman, I mean, I've been doing this 25 years. I've been sued. I've been threatened a few times. And I don't know if a woman, you got to be strong. You got to be
Yeah.
strong. My father told me a long time ago, no matter what you want to do in life, whether you're a girl, a guy, whatever, you can do it.
Mhm.
And I think that's what got me going when somebody said I couldn't do it. I mean, I went to Panama and put that fight on, the first girl ever to fight in Panama before.
Mhm.
And I go over there, the girl had nothing. She was living in a box, in a square box, and they had stones underneath so the rats wouldn't run up the box. And then somebody said, oh, she's gonna, you know, she's just doing this and she's not gonna have you anymore. And I said, let me talk to her. We go out to the ghettos. When I say ghettos in a third world country, and we're sitting there, her and I are crying, you know. So that night we got the 7 o'clock, Nick Tiberi, my matchmaker, him and I are standing there. The night before we go, and there was 35 of us, and we end up they gave us all food. Everybody ate the same food. So the night of the fight at 7 o'clock, fight was starting at 8. The girl that I flew in from Chicago had ptomaine poisoning in the truck. This is just before the fight. The whole thing was about to put a girl on Panama. I said, Nick, what the hell are we going to do? You know? So he says, well, let's think about it. Well, there was another girl there that was fighting in the gym and all. And I had brought 2 girls they were ex-fighters. So I put 2 girls on from Panama, and the night was perfect. So you got to be lucky. You got to have some luck there.
You got to have luck, and you have to believe in yourself. And you have a great matchmaker, Nick Tiberi.
Right. Nick and I fire him all the time. He cusses me out all the time, but we're fine. You know, I said, Nick, this is who I want on the card. You match. And it gives them a good fight. They're good fights. And that's what people come for. You know, you come for, okay, I have ring card guys when I have the girls fights. You know, people talk about that, you know, but I love the sport. You know what it is. It gets under your skin. It gets in your blood.
You love it. Talk to me about one of the most interesting cards or one of the most interesting incidents or stories in boxing during your time as a promoter.
Oh God. Well, my first fight that I had a girl fight on it, and she was pregnant.
Oh.
So the night of the fight, Sylvester comes to me. He said, Diane, you got a problem. I said, what? He goes, your girl's pregnant. I said, you got to be kidding. He goes, no. He goes, you got to go tell her. I said, I ain't telling her, you tell her. He goes, I'm not telling her, you tell her. I said, come on, we'll both go back there and tell her. And that was my very first fight. And that very first fight, I had it at Tropicana. Now I had to prove myself. I just had to. There was no question about it. That afternoon, my main event, the opponent didn't show up.
Oh.
So I left Tropicana, it was in Tropicana, and I was renting a houseboat down in Margate at the time. And I left, I didn't know what I was gonna do. My first show, you know, I was just sick. So I went to go to the houseboat, and there was a church. I don't know what kind of church it was. I don't know what it was. I went in and I sat down and I said, God, you got me this far. I don't know what to do. So one of the guys from Tropicana had called me. He said, Diane, I heard what happened. He goes, I have a guy here. His name, I think it was Tyrone Fraser. I can't remember exactly what his name was. And he said, he's your weight. He said he has all his physicals and everything. So I got a hold of Larry Hazard and he was all okay. And so when I went to talk to the kid, he had a beautiful gold cross on. And I said, that cross is beautiful. He said, you know, I had it in the drawer. He said, I haven't worn it in a long time. He said, but I put it on. I said, guess what? I asked God and God told you to put that cross on. And it was a great fight. I think it was with Quali.
Dwight Muhammad Quali.
Yeah. And it went, I think, 5 rounds or something, but everything worked out. For some reason, I don't know what it is. I hate saying this, but knock on wood. We have to go through, what we should do is, if you have TV, you should see what goes on before the fights, going up to the fights, because it's just amazing. I mean, it's amazing what happens. So that was pretty good. That was a good one.
Who's arguably the most interesting fighter you've worked with? I know one of the most interesting guys I've ever met in my life, Frank the Animal Fletcher.
Yes.
When I say character, I can write a book about Frank.
Oh, I know. There's a lot of them out there. Right now, I'm working with Hank.
Hank Lundy.
I love Hank.
You haven't been hit till you've been hit by the hammer.
I love him. I signed him last year. We got two wins so far. We were going for a third one.
Okay.
And, I mean, he's dangerous. He's 35 years old. You're not gonna, I was calling around to try to get him fights, and you know, these guys are building their fighters up. So they don't want to get knocked out by a 35-year-old guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard getting him to fight. It really is. But he's a true boxer. You tell him you want this kid, whatever you think. I said, no, it's you. You know, and we just go and we don't have any problem. He comes to fight. He trains, and he's always not less than 10 pounds over than what he is. So, because I said, what's going to happen, you're going to get a good fight, but they're going to give it to you the last minute.
Right. And when people say 35, I have to remind everyone that my good friend Glenn, the Road Warrior Johnson, won the world title at 35 years old.
Yeah. You know, I mean, nowadays it's different. You know, you got these promoters that have a lot of money, you know, and all that, which I thought was going to be good for the sport. But, you know, they're paying these guys a lot of money. I can't pay these guys that money, you know, and it's making it hard. And even with this virus, you want to put a fight on, you know, I'm going to try to put one in Atlantic City, but the governor, we have it changes every week, every day. So, you know, so you just don't know what to do.
Now, I know you've worked with some really big names. The biggest name that has been on your card, who is
Klitschko.
Klitschko, Vitaly?
Klitschko Mercer fight.
Oh.
HBO.
HBO.
And I did it with Cedric Kushner. Remember Cedric?
I remember Cedric Kushner, king of the heavyweights.
And the biggest party was that is I went up to his room to sign some papers, and he's walking around in his little underwear. Now, if that wasn't a sight to behold, trust me.
Oh, boy. Now, you talk about Panama.
Mhm.
Did you meet Roberto Duran while you were there? Did he
Yes,
show up?
yes, I did. His wife and I were the two promoters for that.
Oh,
And
okay.
he, I trained, I have a picture. I think I have a picture here. It's just in his living room.
Oh,
That,
man, Hands of Stone.
yep, yep.
I love Roberto Duran.
Oh, he's a doll. He's a doll. I'm in his house, let's go down to the gym. Takes the gun out of his drawer, puts it in his pocket, goes down there. We go to this gym, and the gym is, there's a hole in the corner where the guys pee, and they have nothing. When I say nothing, they have nothing at all. It was just unbelievable.
But just reading about Duran, he's probably the only person or only millionaire that can walk into every neighborhood in Panama.
Oh yeah,
It's remarkable.
He was a king. And you know what? They have referees there that, did total world champions and everything else. Old guys, been around. So when we went to do the fight the night before, I had asked the one that was doing the main event, did you ever do a girls fight before? And he really got offended. First of all, because I was a woman. And he said, I've done world titles and all this. I said, I understand that, but there's two things. If you haven't done a woman's fight, you may get in there and not touch the breast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A man may think that. And another thing is, as soon as you see blood, you may stop the fight. So Mahoof, that was the one she fought, Kathy Walters, I forget her name, but she said it. She said, look, as soon as I get punched in the nose, I'm going to start bleeding. She said, please do not stop the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And she did. First fight, first round, gets right in the nose, blood all over the place. She went 10 rounds and beat Kathy Rivers.
Mm.
So you just don't know.
But your journey has been quite remarkable. Just being a promoter and doing it at such a high level.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope one day the International Boxing Hall of Fame puts you on the ballot so you can be voted in.
Well, I was voted into New Jersey Hall of Fame and Atlantic City Hall of Fame. I had to wait for the New Jersey. I hate saying that, but I had to wait till the 90-year-old guys all died before. Because they don't want women in this thing.
Oh boy, that's so unfortunate, because some of the most exciting cards I've been to in Philadelphia and in New Jersey have been promoted by two women.
Yeah.
Dee Lee's promotion and Blue Horizon promotion, Renuka Michael.
Yep. Russell Pelt said he just did a something on TV, because I put the first fight on. It's called the 2300 now.
2300 Arena.
It was called the Viking Hall.
Right.
That's what it was called. And I put the first two fights on there. And he put in his paper, it says, Dee Fischer became the most successful small club female promoter in the country.
I didn't know they had a classification for promoters.
Well, he made it.
Uncle Russell.
Yeah, he made it. I told him, I said, Russell, what you should do is just hire me, because every place I went, he followed me and put his fights on, which he had television back then. And then every fighter that I want, he ended up, signing them. So it was good. It was good. I like Russell. He's funny.
Well, I hope they don't put me down as small show Jamaican boxing writer.
Right, right.
But that's interesting.
After
But
75 fights.
how many fights have you promoted, D. Lee?
At least 75. At least, yeah.
75. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a lot of boxing shows.
I even did it in a cow pasture in Minnesota and where was it? Montana.
Montana.
Three Forks, Montana.
Ooh, that is something. Let's talk to me about your favorite fighter. I read something that Archie Moore, the legendary Archie Moore, was your favorite fighter, and you had the opportunity to hang out with him.
He was unbelievable. I mean, I just thought he had over 200 fights. I think, that's when
151 knockouts.
Yeah, they were fighting every week and everything. So he had called me up and asked me if I would put his daughter on my card.
Oh.
I said, of course. So he came a whole week. We spent a whole week in Tropicana, and he was just unbelievable. Matter of fact, it was the night that Tyson bit Holyfield's ear. That was the next night. And I sat next to him watching the fight. And he said, oh, that's nothing. Holyfield bit somebody's ear in a gym once.
Oh.
But he was I just loved him. He was like my grandpa. You know what I'm saying? He loved strawberry milkshakes. Every night we would have a strawberry milkshake together. But
he was quite an interesting guy. I read his book, The Old Mongoose.
Yeah.
Incredible fighter. And he really loved writing letters.
Oh my God.
Letters. I mean, great writer.
Very, yeah. He was very with his English was very good, his grammar and everything. And he was a good guy. I just like the old time fighters. I don't know.
I spend a lot of time watching them on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about modern boxing. I know you promote Hank Lundy and several other fighters.
Right.
Besides the fighters you promote, name some of your favorite fighters that you really like to watch or that intrigue you.
Well, you know what? I had Will Taylor at one time. Did you know Will Taylor?
Oh, Will Taylor, I didn't know that.
Yes, I had him. Matter of fact, he beat Sammy Russell's fighter. I took him that's when Russell was doing the fights at Blue Horizon. So I had Will, and he had Sammy, but can't remember his last name. So we were going to go in there. We went in there, and at that time, Rudy Ballot, I guess
Rudy Battle.
He was the referee. So I said to Greg Serb, I said, Serb, I don't want Rudy as the referee. Promoter I know all the rules from Larry Hazard. They're about this thick. I know every rule, trust me. So I said, I don't want him. I'm coming into Russell's home. I don't want his referee in the ring too, So he changed the referee because you can ask for that. You can't ask for judges, but you can ask for that. And he won. My kid won. Then I took him, and he was going for 2 title fights. I forget where it was at, Kansas City or something. And he was fighting, can't remember who he was fighting, but he had the best right hand for a light heavyweight. He was the best. He became a southpaw in the 5th round. I have no idea, and lost.
Will Taylor could fight. I mean, really good fighter.
He was great. He was great. He was so funny. He just really was. He was a good kid.
He was.
Yeah.
Now, today, let's talk about the female fighters.
Right.
Who do you like and why?
You know what? I still like I see the girls fighting now, and they're getting more money at least from what they got before. Because a man promoter would not put them on. There's no question about it. They didn't want to put them on I have no idea why, but the ones now,
We have Clarissa Shields, 2-time Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah,
First American ever to win 2 gold medals
yeah.
in boxing.
They're, I mean, they're unbelievable. They really are. More girls are coming out for it now. I belong to the Vineland Boys and Girls Club, and we have a boxing. I started a boxing training there, and we're getting the girls in too, which makes it really nice. You know, discipline.
I think you promoted Lady Thunder, Althea Saunders.
Yes, yeah, I still do.
Lady Thunder.
She's supposed to fight next week, I think. I think it's next week.
Oh, she's fighting next week?
I think it's next week or the end of the month.
Well,
So now they're starting to put, male promoters are starting to put girls' fights on.
To me, I just look at boxing as boxing. If you can fight, you can fight.
Right. I had a little problem at the beginning. You know, with the women, I had a little problem with it because I was always used to seeing the guys. But then once they got in the ring, you didn't see that. You just saw 2 people fighting. Now, this thing with the equality with the men going to become women, I don't think that's fair in boxing. You know, to have a man change to a woman and then get into the ring with another woman. I mean, that's my opinion, you know.
No, I will be one to say I agree with your opinion. I mean, you can't really change physiology that it doesn't impact you.
Right. So who knows? Who knows what this world has for us?
What advice would you give to all the young ladies out there and all the young people who have a dream? Because yours have been a remarkable journey, which started with your father.
Right. I think if you're starting out in this business, the best thing to do is to have a trainer that you're close to, that you believe in. That's one of the most important things, because the trainer is everything. You know, I tell my fighters when they go in the ring, first of all, if they get hit by the other person, that's going to be the first punch is going to be the strongest that guy's got. But you're not seeing everything that's going on. You got to trust that cornerman. And I think the corner people are the most important. So if you can get somebody that you can trust, that's another thing, is trusting somebody and helping out and just stay there. I see the kids in the Boys and Girls Club. I see them. They go to bed early because they're exhausted. They train. They have more self-confidence in themselves. And don't put junk on Facebook or all those things. You are a person, and you're also a product. You are going to be somebody. So how you talk and how you dress, that's going to follow you through the whole thing.
You're absolutely right. I see our director giving us the signal. We have about a minute left. D. Lee, this has been a pleasure. I think I've covered about 15 of your shows.
Right.
Great shows.
Thank you.
I remember the first time I came to one of your shows, I guess I was the new guy. You came over, introduced yourself, and the rest is history.
That's it.
We don't believe we could have do boxing justice without interviewing you. So thank you very much. Continued success. I'm looking forward to your next show.
Thank you.
You'll take care.
Thank you.
And we'll be following D. Lee's promotion. We'll put everything up so everyone can follow you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Take care. It's a pleasure.
All right, bye-bye.